there, this is Christina from Binky's 3D, and welcome to another video where I show you around Studio and what you can do with it. Now, as you know, Studio 3D has three editors: the image editor, the animation editor, and of course, our live 3D editor. In this video, I'm going to be showing you around how to create a simple image project and some tips and tricks about working with the image editor. If you're interested in creating animations or embedding Live 3D, make sure to check out the rest of the videos on this channel. Let's get started, shall we? After logging into Studio, the first thing you are going to see is the My Projects section. This is exactly where all the projects you've already created with Studio are going to be stored so that you can come back to them later if needed. Now, just like everything in Studio, finding the image editor is quite intuitive. All you have to do is start a new project, particularly an image project, and then select the type of image that you'd like to create. Together, let's start up with a blank project so I can show you around. This is what the inside of a whole new image project looks like in Studio. The first thing I suggest you do is give your project a descriptive name so that you can find it later in the My Project section with ease. For example, my first image project. Now let's take care of the specifics. First of all, if the dimensions are not working for you, you can type out the ones you need or use the arrows to guide you through it. You can also select centimeters, millimeters, inches, or pixels depending on what your content needs are. You can also rename the frame into, let's say, Instagram post if this is what you intend to use it, or give it any name really that works for you or your team, because don't forget, you can share projects in Studio just by opening up this toggle with your coworkers and team just to make sure you're all on the right page. If all the specifics are where you need them to be, let's start designing. Designing in Studio is actually really fun. There is no limit to the amount of image layers you can add, or to the amount of text layers you can add, or even to the devices. So let's change up the default device with something a little bit more new, like the Honor Pro. You can play around with the device using your mouse, the handles, or for more preciseness, you can even type out the exact positioning, 3D transform, and orientation you need the device to have. Now, I'm more of a free spirit when it comes to design, so I'm just going to use my intuition and the toggles to help me around. I'm going to duplicate the device because I also want the back of it to be shown, so I'm going to turn this completely around, but layer it underneath the screen. So there are two ways to do that. You can either use the layers panel or you can use the arrows right here to make changes. Now, I think this is okay for now. And I'm going to actually rename my layers to front and back so that I don't delete something by accident and so that I can tell them apart. Now, as you can see, the default background in the image editor is a transparent background, but we can very easily change that right here. Just turn the opacity to 1 and select the color you need, either by the palette, the hex code, or even using a color dropper. Now, just to make it pop, I'm going to use a whole black background. I'm going to use the snapping lines to center the devices. And all I'm missing now is something like a light. So I'm going to add an image layer. Et voila, there was light. I'm again going to layer the image layer of the light behind it so that there is the illusion that the back of the phone is actually illuminated. And I'm going to name this light. I can also add a text layer. For example, let's say that this is a big sale, and I can choose the font that I want or upload my very own font to stay on brand. But I have such a variety here that I'm just going to choose one that's already in. You can, of course, also change the color, make it big, small, and again, intuitively or by using the numbers right here. And already, in a few minutes, I have something that is super eye catching and very, very high quality. Because our 3D models don't lose quality no matter how zoomed in or out they are. As you can see, they're not pixely at all. Take a look at what happens if I zoom totally into this device. I can almost see inside this lens. If that's not cool enough for you, then I really don't know what is. But let's take it back. Now, of course, the design possibilities in Studio are endless. This is just me showing you a few tips and tricks on how to work with the image editor, but I really can't wait to see what you guys can create with it. Remember that if you need, you can copy your image and, of course, download it in a second. In case you want to create more than one images that have the same design, it is very easy to do so just by adding a frame right here. Now, for example, I want to test out different background colors for this. So what I'm going to do is click on the frame and change the background color. Let's see, for example, how it looks with a bright red. Or even once more, how it looks with bright yellow. You can even do the same to change the devices but not their positioning. So you can try the same type of image but for another phone or any device really. Use it to duplicate the same frame but have a different color of the device that you're advertising at hand every time. And all that is happening in seconds. Now, that was only a very, very simple example of what you can do with Studio's image editor. I promise you, once you get the hang of it, the possibilities and the creativity is endless. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to us via a comment here, an email, or just by shooting us a message on LinkedIn. And remember, until next time, stay creative.